I might not see what the government is doing now. Maybe they have a plan, I don't know. But from what I'm seeing, it doesn't look good, it doesn't look nice. And one major issue we have as a country is our neglect of the manufacturing sector. We are not producing enough for local consumption and export. As at today, uh, dollar is about 700 and something naira, 760 or 740 naira. Some people are saying it might get to 1,000 naira, 1,000 naira soon. That is not; those things are not what we want to see or happen, but in our very face, these things are happening. So the thing for us is, I always tell you that we do not focus on the things that we cannot control. We focus on what we can control. Right now, you will not be able to control what the price of fuel is going to be tomorrow. You don't know the new policy the government will come up with. But at least you can control how much you can earn. The bread I used to buy 500, 550. Yesterday I bought it 1,200. I was with one of my staff, and when they brought out the bread, they said it's 1,200. I told my staff, we have to make more money. We have to be thinking about how to make more money. That's what I told him, because you can't really control what is going to happen next. In fact, let me share this. I had a dream. I was sharing with my staff too after I left that place. I had a dream. In that dream, I went to this dream was last week. I went to buy bread. I got to the store. The person selling the bread brought us that same bread I used to buy. It's a big family loaf. He brought it out. He opened it, and he just put his hand on the bread and just tore a little, something that maybe my first son that is three years old, something that he will eat at once. He just tore one out and he gave to me and he said it's 500 naira. And I paid immediately with excitement and left. I was happy that I was able to get it. The Ben Nazar said dollar is 925 naira on cheaper. It is well. So the 700 I mentioned, I saw that on Google. But Ben Nazar is saying on cheaper, for those that are using cheaper cash, is 925 naira. Thank you for bringing that up. So the economy is not smiling at all. So we want to focus on what we can control. You can control how much you are going to make. If you are making 50,000 naira per month or 100,000, Choma, I told you, I see you, super excited to have you. If you are making 1 million naira per month right now, you can decide you want to start doing 2 million. It's a decision that you just make by yourself and you begin to plan towards it. It's as simple as that. All right. So having said that, that's like an introduction. Having said that, I'll go straight into what we are doing today. Bringing up our guest. Before I bring up our guest, um, I want to. Okay, let me bring up our guest. I already talked about him. His name is Mr. Indibisu Rufus. Mr. Indibisu Rufus is the chairman, CEO of Rufus Oil and Gas. He's the chairman, CEO of Rufus Oil and Gas. Is into um, is into telecommunications that I'm aware of. He's also into he runs a microfinance bank, which I have been a beneficiary. He's someone that is very, very passionate about empowering people. And he happens to also be an associate pastor. He's the associate pastor of my local assembly. So he's going to be inspiring us today, telling us about himself. So do you know the way it is? I might start by asking the questions, but along the line, you are free to also ask questions. So sometimes maybe you raise your hand, I'll allow you to speak, or you just use the chat. Anything you type on the chat, I'll take it down and then I will also ask him. So I'm just going to hit the ground running while as he's speaking, questions will come to your mind. You have the ability to also ask as we go on. All right, if you are ready, please use the chat box. Type I am ready. Type I am ready. I want to see that. Type I am ready. Benazar say let's go. Eno says I'm ready. Yes. Please type I'm ready if you are good to go. No distraction tonight. Bridget told me says I'm ready. Imai says I'm ready. Peter says I'm ready. Swanta Francis, I see you. Yemeni Paul says I'm ready. Giwa says I'm ready. And Eze Chidebere says I'm ready. We make patience. Ben Chidebere, I'm super excited to have you. Amos says I'm ready. I can't read everybody's everybody's comment. We are so much on the platform now. So what I'm just going to do is to allow is to bring on our guest, and then I'll just go straight into questions and answers. All right, I'm seeing Joe's son and Hienetu. You are raising your hand. Do you want to say something, or is that a mistake? Franklin, do you want to say something? Your hands are raised up. When you raise your hand up, you are trying to say you want to say something. Franklin, if I are you trying to say something? If you are, you have to unmute your mic so I can. But if not, I'll just go ahead. All right, Mr. Indivisu Force is here. Good evening, sir. We are super excited to have you in our midst tonight. Um, and we trust God that we're going to have a good time together. All right, so I've done your introduction, so I'm just going to take it off from there so that we can actually keep to time. We are talking about how to thrive in an opposing economy. An opposing economy is an economy that is not supporting you to even grow, but you can still thrive irrespective of that. We have seen you with those results. That's why we deemed it fit to invite you. We always like to start with family life. Always like to start with family, anything that we are doing. I would like to ask you the first question. The first question I would like to ask is, sir, please, do you have parents? Okay, sir, apart from those industries I mentioned microfinance, I mentioned oil and gas, I mentioned telecommunications. Do you have any other industries that you have investment that I did not mention?
So, well, let's go with the one you have mentioned.
I knew what his response was going to be.
Mm.
All right. So the first question I'm going to ask is, sir, do you have parents or family? Are you from a family that modeled business to you? If yes, I need you to tell us about it. If no, how were you able to catch that entrepreneurial spirit?
Okay, I want to really appreciate you, Mr. Hadi Wanaba, for having me here, and I also want to thank everyone who is taking part in this meeting. You know, everyone here we're all here to share experience and to learn and get one or two things from one another to enable us move ahead in life. So once again, I appreciate everyone and thank you so much for making yourself available this evening. Yeah, coming to the question, yeah, I have a family. Yeah, I have a mother, and she's aged. And yeah, my father died when I was very small. I didn't have a proper view of him, and so that affected my growing up and the growing up of everyone in the family. But my father was a businessman when he was alive, and was a successful businessman also, I was told. So growing up wasn't easy. So family wise, my mother helped to try as much as possible she can to give us the basic needs of life. And my elder sister also was there. And but I have an uncle who maternal uncle who happened to be the major man behind that early days mentorship in business. Because he was the one that told me who my father was, how successful he was in business, and he was one that led me at the beginning stage of my life uh, on business. He was guiding me, taking me through all the pain and those areas, guiding me in my investment decisions at that early stage of life. You know, so he is the one that really mentored me. He's my maternal uncle, and he's still alive today, very healthy, and so I respect him so much for that. So
Fantastic.
that's all. Yeah, yeah,
Fantastic. Thank you so much, sir. So
yeah.
I asked that question because we have parents in our midst, And one of the things that I believe that every parent here should begin at a very early stage is to begin to um, instill an entrepreneurial spirit in their children, because the children go to school, but we know that the school might not teach you much about money. So it's our role as parents to ensure that our our children are exposed to education. That's very key, very important. And that will lead me to the next question that I'm going to ask. I know that Mr. Indubisi Rufus has 4 kids as at today. I'm very sure about that. Giwa, please mute your mic. All right, thank you. I know it has 4 kids, and I'm thinking their age range should be around maybe 20, maybe around 16, 17 to 22, 23. He was going to correct me. And I know that all his kids are entrepreneurs at their age. 3 of them are in the university, and the last one is about to also get into the university. I have seen how he has been able to intentionally instill an entrepreneurial spirit in his children. At some point, when his children are on holiday, I see them at the fuel station. They work as fuel pump attendants. And if they don't tell you that these are the children of the boss or the CEO of the place, you will not know. Currently, the last born is transiting to university and is resuming in his father's office. I see all of those things and I'm learning by observation. So, sir, I want you to tell us, how have you been able, or what have you done over time to instill an entrepreneurial spirit in your children?
Okay, on the part of the children, what happened was for the beginning, I was able to let them know how this life started, how we're able to get to where we are today. And not only that, they watch me work, and sometimes I bring work to the house. Sometimes I work late. Sometimes they also complain. Why bringing the work to the house? Leave the work in the office. So they watch me work there at night, sometimes late nights, and we also try as much as possible to see how we can make available the basic things that they need. They were not over pampered in any way, even till now. None of them were over pampered, and we allowed them to go through the normal processes of life. We're also careful on the kind of school they are going to. We took our time to make sure that, yeah, my wife she's very good in that and in making choices for school. So they were able to go through the right school, both primary, secondary, was very key. So we'll look for school that has um, entrepreneur as a major skill that they need to be taught in the school. So we can remember that in 1 or 2 or 3 occasions, I had followed my children together with the school for an exhibition in 1 or 2 or 3 places in Port Harcourt where their skills as a group were actually displayed. So those things we are very intentional. We are very intentional about that, about the choice of schools, because we know that today is not about what you have read. Those skills as an entrepreneur is very much needed if you need to make a headway in the society today. So we are careful in the choice of school. That's helped a lot, and I think that's just that. So all those things put together automatically instill that into each and every one of them. So today, everyone is working as an independent businessman and woman, even though most of them are still in school. So I think that's that. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. All right, so I'll go on to the next question. Please remember that I said you have opportunity to ask your questions, even as it's talking. You can use the chat box. Maybe after now, if you raise your hand, I will allow you to also speak. So you have mentioned, you told us about your uncle. You told us about your uncle and how he was there for you to mentor you, to guide you in business. Are there other very strategic relationships along your way apart from your uncle that has really helped you in on your journey to business?
Okay, well, first and foremost, I cannot take this for granted. My relationship with God was a major key, because that's the major relationship that's helped me. And yeah, I also have um, a couple of friends who are also there. In those days, we are trying to start up what we are doing. So because why I don't want to take away God in it is because there are so many uncertainties. God.
Okay, I think his line is breaking.
Who at that early stage I want to move. You know, he was the one pushing me. He was the one telling me go. This is possible. In fact, he was able to help me also get one or two connections and contacts. Even though they were risky ventures, but it was like, come on, we can do this. Yeah, even when we did one and failed, it was like we can try again, and we did try again, and we made it, and we remain there. So those relationships have that. My cousin is someone I respect so much, and but he really helped, and those my friends, and above all, relationship with God was a major factor. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Awesome response. Um, I would let me see if I would allow someone to ask a question. Peter, do you have a question you want to ask? Your hands have been raised up.
Yes, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Good evening, the coach. Good evening, Rufus, which is the recent speaker and one of the keynote speaker of today event. I really am glad. Permit me to register my acknowledgement to Almighty God for giving me the access to be one of your students here and to listen to today's conversation. I I really not want to waste your time and either the speaker. I want to ask a few questions. Please, Mr. Rufus, being as a successful entrepreneur, I want to ask if he really show that sign of fraternize in his business, being fraternized, being social in his business. That today business, that is how you operate your business and you succeed in it. In terms of your client who comes at the market survey, just like the price that you opted out. You wanted to sell your good at the rate of maybe 1,000 naira. Then due to how closeness you are with the person, then the person is pricing you 500 naira. But intentionally, this is the proposed price for your for that particular goods. Is it advisable for you to sell at that price that the person price you based on the kind of affiliation that you have with the person? Does that really necessary, or would that really scare the person away from your business? That's what I want to ask him.
Yeah, yeah. It all depends on the if you cannot sell against profit. So if no matter who the person is, no matter the relationship we have with that person, yeah, there are places of where we consider people based on relationship. There are times I might have product, maybe I got products at a cheaper rate and the prices increases, and I have my friends who want to buy at the old price. Yeah, I can still give them at the old price. I'm not selling at a profit. I'm not selling at a loss. I'm still selling at a profit. So no matter who you are, there are places for discount, there are places for consideration, provided you are not selling at a loss. Once it puts you at a loss position, then you don't sell because you are in business to make money. Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
thank you, sir. I'm glad to that response. And my
Yeah.
second question is,
Peter
What?
Sunday,
How many?
I will allow you ask only one. I will allow you ask only one, please. I'm seeing so
Just
many.
only this one.
If I show you my screen now, almost everybody's hand is up.
You just- No
Let
problem,
us
sir.
hear
Thank
from
you.
Ben Eze. Ben Eze
Okay.
Chidebere. Ben Eze Chidebere. Peter Sunday, you can use the chat. I will take it down. I will take it down and maybe I can ask later if we still have time. Ben Eze Chidebere.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Harry. Good evening, everyone. So my question to Mr. Ndubisi is very simple. Okay, so thank you, sir. You mentioned that your uncle was there to help and guide. So I wanted to ask, what exactly did he do? Was it that he gave you money, or he gave you counsel, or he brought you under his apprenticeship or tutelage? The reason I'm asking this is that most young people starting up right now, we think that we need the money most importantly. So what exactly did he give you so that we young people can also know what exactly to look out for, even as we are becoming better entrepreneurs? Thank you.
Very good
Okay,
question.
okay. What he actually did was, as a young boy those days, you just come back home and he will ask you, how much do you have? So by the time you tell him, okay, I have like 50,000, I have like 100,000, he already have a business plan for that small money you came back with. So instead of you to go back to and lodge in a hotel and spend the money, you also already an investment waiting for you. So as soon
Wow.
as you have any slightest amount of money, no matter how small, remember there is a man who has a business plan for you, no matter how small. And he has a plan for even as little as 30,000 naira. So you
Wow.
don't have any money to waste. You don't have any money to spend around. Every money you have is going into business. And when you come back the next time, he has already made money for you from the one you have already invested. So there is always a motivation for you to even invest more. So that is just actually what he did.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
sir. That was a good question from Beneze Chidebere. Let me hear from Joson. Joson, your hands are raised up. If you can hear me, unmute your mic. Please, let's ask very intelligent questions. Joson, okay, I think you typed already. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead
Yeah.
and speak.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Very clearly. Go ahead.
Okay, my question here is I don't know why people don't honor business deals. Sometimes you supply items to people in the promise that so period of time, after so period of time, they will make payments. And they begin to frustrate you. What do I need to do, or what do I need to put in check to prevent such occurrences? I think for me, it's something that I need to really work on. Thank you.
Good question.
Okay. It all depends on the. I have a fuel station, and sometimes I have people that give me fuel on credit. Okay, so and most times I might give them time of payment, and because I need to sell to pay. So when by your own calculation, like currently now the sales is a little bit down because the cost is high, so purchasing power of people has been reduced. So any promise made to anyone will surely be affected. But the people need to be carried along. If I took your 1,000 liters of fuel and I didn't pay you, I must give you the assurance that your fuel is still in my station. It has not gone out. Because if it has gone out, the money should come to you. So when you give people business, you must have a backup plan. If you give somebody an item and the person have not sold the item, yeah, one, your money is still there because the item is still there. But if the person has sold the item, he must be able to pay you. And it is also not advisable for somebody, you give somebody goods on credit and the person is now selling also on credit, because that will enlarge the payment plan even without you knowing. So it depends on the person you are dealing with. You must make sure that the goods is there. If it's there, fine. you can take it back. But if it's not there, the person has sold it, and he must be able to make the money available. But make sure that we have because people can be funny. Yeah, people should be trusted, but sometimes they can be funny. So have some serious backup plan that if you don't see these goods here, you can now fall back on those backup plans to recover your money, because that money, maybe, yeah, it has a cost from where you got it from. But as for
Please,
people fairly, yeah, they
sorry,
do.
please, what are the backup plans? Because I'm kind of confused.
Yeah,
Somebody
maybe
made
it's,
me
yeah.
somebody made me sign an agreement that okay, if you supply me these items, if I'm able to sell max 70% of it, then come for your payment. And this has been done since February, for goodness sake. And he has been using delay tactics. Please hold on, please hold on. And I'm fed up. And I've told him, look, this money, as long as you are intentionally holding it, God will intentionally withhold your blessings. You don't pay problems for me and want to go scot free. It's not fair.
Yeah.
He sold it.
But
Give me the money you're saving.
Just
what you
hold
are
on,
saying,
hold on.
what you are saying now is what like 70% of people are going through.
And
I
when
can
I
assure
bought
you
this
that.
item, I bought them at
Yeah.
760 when pounds was 760 naira. And now pounds is about 1,100 naira.
So next time, make sure you have like a check, because people can fail even anytime. Make sure you have a check, because if you have a check from him now, all you need to do now is to pay the check in and let the check advance, because a dot check is already a case. So once you have a check from the person, he knows that, and make sure that the check is a valid check. Because have people who come to do business with me. Sometimes they'll give you a check, and when you go to check to present that check in the bank, you find out that either the check is a check that cannot go for clearing, or his own check, and you won't even know. So already you have already losing. So next time, make sure you have a check from his current business account. You have the check with you. So when the time reach and he has not paid you, you give him some extra time, he didn't pay you, you are sure the goods have been sold, you throw in the check. He already know that there's a problem waiting for him. So make sure that you collect a check as a backup next time. As for credit, you must, it's part of the business that we have to do. You must do business on credit. Yeah.
All right, thank you
Thank you
so
very
much,
much.
sir.
Yeah.
Johnson, I hope that helps. Thank you so much, sir. I'm seeing so many hands raised, but I would like a female to speak. I think three men have spoken tonight. Toyin Folade, is that a lady? Is Toyin Folade a lady? Your hands are raised up.
Can you hear
All
me?
right. Yes, yes, I can.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Coach. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Ndubisi. It's so good to have you on. Um, Sir, it is good you're on this platform to share with us your success story. But I also believe that in this business, or while you're in business, there are times you wanted to quit. There were times that you felt like packing it up. At such times when you were tired, at such times when you felt like calling it quits, were there things that you actually did to continue in that business? And at what point do you get in business that you are meant to be in this space? Or because it's wisdom to know when to leave. It's wisdom to know when you need to leave a business. So I want to find out, sir, were there certain things that you did when you felt like quitting? I would like you to share with us. And then not only that, I understand that apart from Rufus All, there are other businesses you were doing. Is there any business you did and you got to a point where you knew it is wisdom for us to call it quits at this point? This is dead. This project is dead on arrival. We need to leave. At that point like that, I'll um um please permit that you share those experiences with us and those wisdom with us. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. I must say that challenges in business is what we must all live with. You cannot run away from it. Every day there's always this pressure that want us to quit, even when you're making progress. Yeah, I used to have a business we call Osana Computers and Communication. You know, we are training people. We had office in Niger Street in Port Harcourt then. We are training people on the use of computer. It was a cyber cafe and all that. I brought in people from Lagos, very well equipped. We had like 2 centers then in Niger and in Ikwe Road. Training people, a very big cyber cafe. People can walk in, check their mail and all that. But as we begin to move, as GSM steps into the market, those are people don't come to a cyber cafe again. Everybody's phone is now a cyber cafe. So we know that it is time to quit because people are no longer coming in, and a lot of things became a major challenge to the cyber cafe. So everybody now, people use their phone because the major revenue for the cafe, we are mainly like students. When they come, they check jam result and all that. Those things are done from your Android phone these days. So I don't think there's any cyber cafe existing in Port Harcourt today. But those days they were major source of income and revenue for us. So when we saw it, we saw the signs, and we know that it is time to quit, and we shut down the business. And we left, and we moved on. Just like anybody in Nigeria today, with the price of fuel, you know that if your business is fuel, start planning on what to do in the next 10 years. Because government is bringing in a lot of things, and that will make people not to use fuel and use something else. So anybody who is that business should be thinking, this is not time. This is not time for me to build a new station. This is not the time. I will not have time to go and build a new filling station right now, because they are bringing electric cars. They are trying to make gas penetrate into every nook and cranny. They are trying to make people use gas more than the fuel. So how will you go about building more station? So when you get to that point where you don't quit as a business, you can quit a particular business to enable you focus on another, or you quit a particular business for you now to go into something else. But they cannot quit and say you are quitting and quitting to go home. To go home and do what? You need to be active all the time. But as for challenges, they are always there. But one thing that need to take your decision before you quit a particular business and move into another one is the future. Where is the future of if that business has a future, even if you fail, pick it up again. And if you are in a clean energy right now, if you are in the gas sector right now, if you are in agriculture right now in Nigeria, even if you do and fail, do it again until you succeed, because that is where everyone is heading to. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Awesome response. I hope it helped Tony Folade.
Yes, thank you.
So much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. That was actually one of the questions I was to ask, but it was a good thing that you actually brought it up. Awesome. The next question I will ask before I let another person speak. Ben Nazar says, "Do it again until you succeed." Yeah. So, in terms of economic downturns like this, people are beginning to think about diversification. They are thinking about, okay, should I go into a new business and all of that? So, diversification is a common strategy when we have uncertainty in our economies. Sir, please, how do you, because you have switched one business to another, even when one is working, you have thought about creating another one, you go ahead with it. How do you decide new markets? How do you decide new markets or industries to enter while still trying to minimize risk?
Okay. First and foremost, I have to agree with my spirit first. Then once that is done, I put my attention on where the government is going, because in our environment here, for now, the government has a major role to play. in the business that you do. So I put my attention on where is the government going, where is government putting attention, where are they providing funding. There are some businesses you take to bank today that will not get funding because government is not providing funding for those areas. So you look at those areas where government is going, where government is putting all their attention is. Like 2 years ago, I happened to stumble on information about government penetration in gas. That was when Siva was still the Minister of State for Petroleum. I stumbled on that information and we were able to make a quick move. We started doing, because we looked at that, this is where government is going. They have already engaged a company in Lagos that their business is to start manufacturing cylinder for people. They even have plan to share free cylinder to almost everybody in Nigeria, especially those in the rural area. Give them free, that's so that people can start using gas and they don't use firewood, they don't use kerosene again. This is government plan, and government is still in that plan today. So what we did was, this is where government want to go. So we started talking to the people in Lagos, okay, make us the major distributor of the cylinder and all that. We started writing proposal to state government who can allow us to come in and develop the gas sector of the state, looking into some local governments that is not really developed. So we did that proposal and we are still in that discussion to date, because that is where the government is going. So you must look at where the government is going, because by the time you need funding, that is where you can get funding for the business. And most of those funding is very, very cheap compared to normal funding for the commercial banks. So it is key. While you work with your spirit, yes, depending on where you're operating from, you should also look at where the government is going. Every other decision you are taking might not or go well. Don't look at your neighbor is doing it and he's succeeding, therefore you want to do it. Today, government is putting more emphasis on agriculture. They have some single-digit loan on agriculture. Government is putting more. They're focusing more on clean energy, and they are focusing more on gas, because they want to kill subsidy they want to make sure that people don't buy fuel. So by the time the fuel is high, you have to start looking for alternative ways for you to run your business. So you need to look at where is my goal. It's time to begin to look at where government policies is going. If you want to diversify your business, it will help you take the right decision. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, sir. I'm really learning a lot, and I know that so many people in the community are also learning a lot. Based on what you have just said now, we attend the same church. You happen to be the associate pastor of our local church, local assembly, and we have a community group in our church we call the BOSS. The BOSS stands for Business Owners and Senior Strategists. We normally have our meetings once in a month. Something happened in our last session. You came in briefly, you had another engagement, so you left us. The lady that came was she's into different businesses, but majorly she was talking to us about how to get loans, how to get grants, and all of that. One of the things I noticed was that right here in Port Harcourt, River State, there are grants that are being given by government. There are access to loan that people can go get and all of that. But it seems as if so many of us are not really interested in what the government is doing. The lady was surprised. She would ask us, have you heard about so and so grants? All of us will be looking at her. She say, oh, you mean all of you here now? You have not heard about this. Then she will mention another one. Then she will mention another one. It's as if we have lost interest in even government and their policy and whatever it is that they are doing and all of that. But from the way you are sounding, how do you normally get information concerning what the government is doing and then start aligning yourself to be a part of it? After I respond to this, I'll take Choma Itoje's question from there. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I have a friend who sounds like a consultant, and for me, so in fact, he's the one that helps us to I don't really have much finance from government. I think apart from one or two that I have, and I don't really have much finance from government presently because we are still on the process of getting a major finance from them based on the based on the packages that they have. But I have this guy. He was once a banker, a senior banker before he left, and we have that relationship from the bank. So, in fact, his assignment is always make this information available for me. So I look at it, look at the condition, look at the terms. If they're okay, fine. One, you don't take fund that you don't need. So
I was asking Auntie Becky's husband if he has eaten. He came.
It's like I muted Mr. Ndubisi Rufus while trying to mute somebody else. Sir, we are not hearing you now. Kindly see if you can unmute your mic.
are you hearing me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you now. Please go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead. Archibald,
Okay.
please mute your mic. Archibald,
Okay, what I'm saying,
we are
like,
hearing your conversation here. Mute your mic.
yeah, yeah. If you go to the if you go to the CBN, you go to CBN platform. There are many. You will see some of those facilities there and the conditions for which to access them. And if you also have a friend in any commercial bank, you also talk to them because some of those funds are routed through the commercial banks because CBN cannot pay money directly. So if you have anybody in any commercial bank, they can give you that information on which fund is available. There are funds even for only women. There are funds for agriculture. There are funds for so many things. So if you have people like that, they will be able to give you that information. And you look at the terms and conditions and begin to know how to navigate for that. But those things are real, they are valuable, and people are really making use of them.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Super excited for that response. I had to remove Archibong because her stuff was on, her mic was on, and it was causing a lot of echo at the background. Please, once you are here, make sure that your mic is muted until you are allowed to speak. I want to take this question from Choma Itoje. It's a very good one. So she said, Mr. Rufus, I'm reading from the chat box now, you might not see it. He said, Mr. Rufus, as explained by Coach Ari, you run several businesses. Do you fund them independently, or do you take money from business A to fund business B? How do you compare using more fund on one business than running several businesses with all fund you can access? So I guess our question is, if you are running multiple business, is it okay to take money from here and maybe put into this one and all of that?
Okay, yeah, it all depends on the system you are running. Yeah, you can take money from here to put here as a loan. Maybe borrow money from A to fund B and return back the money once you are done. You can do that. Instead of you to go and look for external funding. If company A have money and you know that, okay, this money can help to fund company B, so you use part of that money and fund company B and return back when it is time. Instead of you to go and start sourcing for fund externally and start paying interest. Yeah, it's doable. You can do that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, sir.
What's the next question? What's the next question? Yeah.
Okay, let me check. Let me check again. Okay, she said, how do you compare using more fund on one business? How do you compare using more fund on one business than running several businesses with all funds you can access?
Okay, it all depends on the profitability of the business and the risk level. So if one business is more profitable, if one business has a future, if one business is where the whole world is going to, it's advised to remain there and put more fund there and make the profit. To me, it doesn't make business sense spend all your money across so many businesses when you are sure of the one you are doing. But it's also good if you have money to diversify. Yeah, spread it across. But if you are sure of that one business and you don't have all those resources, the big resources, put that money in that one and make it work. But after some time, when you have generated enough money, You can now look for a way to spread that. You cannot use the small money you have that is not even okay for the one business. I now want to spread it across other businesses. You might be struggling at the end of the day.
Somebody should type value. Type value there. If you are getting something from our discussion, type value, type Rema, type wisdom. So I like the way you are spontaneous with those questions. Thank you so much. God bless you. You might not be seeing the chat, but the people are excited and they are making so much reactions even as you are speaking. So when things are when the economy is the way it is now, one of the things that people do or people are advised to do is to collaborate. Sometimes you are just in that space where it looks as if you are just alone. You have this idea and all of that. You are trying to sort things out by yourself, you know. So, but when things are like this, one of the things we normally advise is seek for good partnership, go for collaboration and all of that. For collaborations and partnership can be crucial during tough economic times. The question is, how do you identify the right partners and mutual, create beneficial, create mutually beneficial relationship? How do you identify the right people that you can collaborate or partner with and create a kind of situation that will benefit both you and also benefit them?
Okay, yeah, yeah. I think collaboration and partnership is good not only in tough times, it's also good in good times. It also is good across board. So first you must you see I have this lady that their company used to give me. I used to buy product from them, and we are good. We are running well. But I understand that whenever I come to them, I was like, okay, can you give me, even if it's 1 million naira credit, they will not give me. They will tell you that the money was complete. I don't even know their office, but they know my office. So who is taking the risk? I'm the one taking the risk. I told them, I said, come, I give you money. I don't know your office. I don't know you don't. I don't know you don't even have one station, but at least you know my office. You know my station. But you cannot afford to give me a risk as low as 1 million. But I'm giving you a high risk by giving you money and expect you to give me the product. It was a relationship, it was a partnership, but it was not a good one. So I also have another person who, so by the time I started dealing with him, once in a while, the phone will not be, that will be like, come, can you give me product? He said, yes, I can give you. And he will give you. I will be like, okay, maybe pay me in 7 days or 8 days. So for me, this second person trust me, he believed in me, so I started working with him. So you should know a good partner, you should know a good collaboration from anyone that trusts in you, that believe in you. And trust
Wait,
and
hold on,
belief
you don't
is
want
not what to
to
say, it's what to demonstrate, it's what to do, and what to
you don't
see.
want to say
And also, you know a good partnership
something.
from somebody who is not ready to withhold information from you. This my second person now. In fact, he will be the one to come and say, look for come. There is no this in Port Harcourt. So let's go to Warri, let's go to Sapele. That is where it is happening now. He's in the same business with me, but he's giving me information that will benefit me. He's not competing with me. So never you go into any collaboration, never you go into any partnership with somebody who is competing with you. Because somebody who's competing with you will not make information available for you. So to me, in my partnership, in my collaboration with people, I look at people that trust me, that believe in me. I look at people that are open with information in the same business we are in. I also look at people who are not competing with me. Once you are in this same line, then we can collaborate, then we can partner. But as for partnership, everyone needs it, both in good time and in bad time. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you so much, sir. Please, I'm still trying to understudy using Google Meet as a platform. I'm very used to Zoom before I started using this. If your mic is not muted, I'll just remove you because there's a lot of echo while the guest is speaking. Apart from that, in our last family meeting, once we got to 100, I noticed that I could no longer admit people into the meeting anymore. So I had to go and increase my plan today. I was paying a certain amount. I had to go to the next plan, but I still noticed that we're at 100 right now, and people are still not able to join. Please, if you have solution to that, chat me up after now. I'll be very glad to know what to do. I wouldn't want a situation whereby people are trying to join us and they cannot because of maybe a particular plan I'm using right now. So I thank you so much. I want to see, it's already 9 p.m. I want to see what we can do in the next 15, 20, 30 minutes. People's hands are raised anywhere, everywhere. I'm not sure we'll be able to take all the questions. But this person is asking, his name is Domo Godwin Momo. He said, please, I want to ask, in the oil sector you are right now, what can you advise an entrepreneur with 1 million naira to start with? If he wants to enter into oil business, either PMS, crude oil, or gas, with 1 million naira.
Ah, 1 million naira. Okay, I think what you can do is 1 million naira because fuel now is 580 naira. So 1 million naira can only buy you like 2,000 liters. Diesel. I think with 1 million naira, you can look at just two things you can do. Um, you can look at supply of, I have banks I supply diesel to as low as 500 liters. There are some banks that don't spend money like others. They consume like 500 liters. So if you have 1 million naira, you can get diesel. You can get 1,000 liters of diesel, and that can give, if you have two banks, 500. So you have two supplies, you are done. And some of them pay like maybe in 1 week. Don't wait for more than 1 week because that might eat into your fund. So and you can make some reasonable profit from there. I talk about the bank. I talk about the don't supply to private homes because they will owe you and you cannot be able to cover your money. But if you supply to the banks and they don't pay, you can block their gate, and they would like to be managed before their customers. So you can do some business. You can do good business with that. I can assure you that your money can grow in a space of 6 months because people are still using diesel to run their offices and their businesses. And another thing I think you can do is to see how you can do more in the lubricant section. Maybe do more of the engine oil because that one you can also do with that amount of money. But that amount of money can also do something reasonable for you. I can assure you that. But see how you can focus more on the diesel. That's the HUO part. You can do something good with that money. 6 months, 1 year, that money can grow. I can assure you that. Yeah.
Fantastic. I hope Domo got some value there. Thank you so much, sir. Nimi Ebera is asking, can you talk to us about mentorship? If one wants to start a particular business that it doesn't have the required capacity, how can someone identify a good mentor that will not enslave you? I like that.
Mm.
How do you identify a good mentor when you are going into maybe a business?
I think the best thing you have to do is to find a way to pay for the knowledge. It's important you pay for the knowledge. What you pay for has a way of guiding you. So but when you get something cheap, it doesn't have a way of enslaving you. So if you are looking for mentorship, try and see how you can pay for that mentorship. It will help
Mm.
you. Once you pay for the mentorship, you cannot be enslaved. But if you are
So
looking for free mentorship, slavery is sure. Yeah.
someone should type in the chat box if you are looking for free mentorship, slavery is sure. So let me ask the next question based on what you just said. Now, everybody's laughing here. You are not seeing their reactions, but I'm seeing it. Based on what you have said now, tell us about your investment in personal development that has helped you grow in business. You know what I do? I'm really about reading, learning, personal growth, and transformation. I believe that investment in self is even more important than investment in business. Some people have business, they want their business to prosper them, but they don't know that they are the ones that will prosper the business. Then the business will now in turn favor them. So, sir, tell us about some of the things that you have done personally to invest in yourself. You just talked about, paying for knowledge and all of that, so that my people here can also be aware.
Okay, I think number one thing I did for myself is that one, you must believe in what you are doing. You cannot be doing business and you don't believe in the business you are doing. You must believe, like 100% believe that this is it, and work like your whole life depend on that. Don't be careful about it. Don't run a business like you have other sources of income. No, this is the income. Let everybody know that I am here. I go to work sometimes by 6 a.m. in the morning just to make sure I resume before that person. I want to tell them that this thing you think you are doing, I can do it too. So you need to find a way to, one, believe in the business that you are doing. Two, also look for people that have gone ahead of you in the business and relate with them. They have information they will give you. There are things that you might need from them and they make it available. It's very, very important because there is always people that have gone ahead of you. And there are so many good of them. There are so many of them that are very good, that are ready to help, that are ready to offer information, that are ready to support. Find out who they are. Yeah, if you meet the bad ones, identify them, take them aside, look for the good ones, and focus in building relationship with them. Also, look for seminars to attend that will give you link to people, that will connect you to people, that will also guide you whenever you hear it. Some of them are free. Some of these seminars are free. If you cannot pay for the ones that are paid money, look for the ones that are free and attend. They are all over town. You can even read about them online and get information, find out what is happening next, know where to put your money. So you need to have all these things in place so that you can be able to navigate properly as a businessman in Nigeria today. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I want to allow Murphy Gospel. Murphy, if you can hear me, your hands have been raised up. Murphy Gospel Unegbu, if you can hear me, you can unmute your mic and speak. Murphy Gospel, if you can hear me, you can unmute your mic and speak.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Clearly, please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Coach. Good evening, Mr. NDBC. Thank you for the time and thank you for sharing this wisdom. My question, though most of my questions have been answered, but I have this particular one. Sir, as an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur for that matter, how do you balance your businesses? How do you monitor them? How do you do your staff or manager selection? Because this is, I believe, this is critical to every business. Sometimes getting good staff. How do you balance?
I didn't get that question. How do I manage all the businesses? Oh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Every of the business has a leader. Every of the businesses have a leader managing each of those businesses, and those leaders report back to me. So those you try as much as possible to get a good team. Yeah, even though they might not be 100%, but at least get a good team, because you cannot be here. I have businesses that are not here that are some of them are very far from here. So you cannot be here and you're there. So first of all, you must have a good team that you are sure that this thing will work well. Also, set up a monitoring system that allows you to monitor, because even the good staff, that is your best of staff, have capacity to become your worst of staff tomorrow. So you will put up a system that enables us check day-to-day performance of every person, both good and bad. Monitor what they're doing. Try as much as possible to put everyone in check. Try as much as possible to make them happy, even though the economy is biting hard. You must let them know that you understand the feelings of the economy even as it affects them currently. You must share in their pain, you must also share in their joy. So, but first of all, we'll have a good team. We'll monitor what the team is doing. We'll try as much as possible to share in the pain and the joy of our people, of the people working for us. And above all, we'll try as much as possible to make myself available all the time. Every time, we'll try as much as possible to make myself available. And once you notice a bad staff, once person you cannot tolerate in your team is a disloyal staff. You can take, you can work with a thief, but you cannot work with a staff that is disloyal. Because if one is a thief, you can put him in a place where there's no money. He will have nothing to spend. But once you are disloyal, you are very dangerous. So that's one thing we don't tolerate disloyalty in the team. You must be loyal. You must be loyal to our vision, and you work in line with what we say you should work in line with, and we are good to go. But it's not 100% accurate. But at least once you have 80%, you are safe in that. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. You can tolerate a thief, but not a disloyal staff. Okweluwa, please unmute your mic and speak. After Okweluwa, I'll take Ola Wheels. We're rounding up soon. Okweluwa, can you hear me? Okweluwa Aboaba. Okay, I think I'll go over to Ola Wheels. Ola Wheels, your hands are raised. If you want to say something, all you need to do is unmute your mic and speak. What about Ijoma Ann? Your hands are raised. If you want to say something, you just unmute your mic and speak. Okay, some people raise their hand. Maybe they just tap on that and they don't understand that they are trying to say they want to say something. All right, it's fine. Somebody is asking, sir, do you have books? Do you have coaching or mentorship sessions that someone can sign up for? There's a lot to learn from you that we cannot get today.
For now, I don't have any books. I don't have any section, but very soon those ones will come up. Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So let me see if I have Bakari. Do you have a question? We are rounding up now. I want to see what we can do to round up. Say by 9:30, we have like 15 more minutes. Bakari, do you have a question?
Yes, I'm here, sir. Good evening, sir.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you, sir. Though I joined late, but I heard Mr. Ndubisi talking about doing business with banks, like distributing diesel to them, like using 1 million. Like if you have two banks, you are dealing with like 500 diesel, 500 diesel. So I want to ask, like, can you please give me like the kind of profit that can come out from 500,000 diesel?
Okay. Yeah. Currently, you can make as much as 50 naira per liter. So if you are doing, if you do 500 liters times it by 50 naira, it will give you an idea of what the profit is. That's the lowest you can do. So you can, it's between 50, 60, 70, 100, depending on the agreement you'll be able to get with the bank. Because some banks are paying as high as 750, 780 naira per liter. Some are paying 800 naira per liter currently because of the new increase. So that can give you up to like 100 naira profit per liter. So it ranges between that 50, 60, 70, 100 naira, depending on the agreement you're able to work with the bank. Yeah. So if you are doing 500 liters, you times it by that profit, and that's the profit you are likely to make. And most banks pay in 1 week maximum. Yeah. Not the company that old. Some banks pay maximum 1 week. I do business with so many banks. It's maximum 1 week. They get your money.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Okay, so sir, as you are talking, I'm taking down questions. I'm reading them out. as we even round up. Some persons here are really interested in mentorship. They are saying that they are looking forward to, your coaching program. If you have something like that, that they'll be willing to, sign up and be part of it. And others would like to also know your social media handles so that they can still follow you, maybe for more business tips. And then somebody's asking, can we invest with you?
Can we?
Can we invest with you?
It all depends on what they mean by that. I don't understand that.
Now, this
Okay,
this
yeah, yeah, well, yeah, but what you do is most of the questions my social media handle is, I think, Mr. Harry will make it available to everyone. Maybe email address in case you want to write an email to me directly, and every that you want to now find out for boss. As regards business, you can do us an email, then we'll be able to respond to you properly. I will take it from there.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. We have done an hour and almost 20 minutes. The meeting is supposed to be 1 hour, but because we are having an amazing session, we've done way more than that. Before I will let you go, I need to share this. I've not told you this before. I think this was 5 or 6 years ago. I was at a point where I was trying to gain clarity for myself. I really didn't know what to do with myself, what to focus on, and all of that. And then one day, I went to buy fuel. I went to buy fuel at your station. I went to buy fuel at your station. I didn't know that time that you were into business. I didn't know that you were running fuel pump stations and gas stations. I went there and I bought fuel. I used my card. While I was going home, when I was going home, I took a keke. While going back, I got a debit alert. On that debit alert, as at that time, I've been to your church at least, I think, once. When I got that alert, I saw, I saw Rufus gas on that alert. Somebody's mic is not muted. I saw Rufus gas on that alert, and the service I attended that day, you were telling us about. Um, you told us in that service there was an information that you shared with us that your son just got admission that period and you were out of town. You actually had to travel with him to go and help him facilitate his admission process, make sure that he settles down well. So we were not in town. So I got that alert that day and I said to myself, I said, I love this. So Mr. Individual Force, it's not like he's not around, he's somewhere else. And I just bought something from his station. And wherever he is now, he's going to get my alert. So I said to myself that in my lifetime, like in the next 3, 4, 5 years, I must create a system that will allow me to get alert, whether I am present or not. And I want to tell you that I've been able to do that today. So that just goes a long way to say that your life is inspiring people. People are observing what you are doing, and people are really, really being blessed. Yeah, just to let you know, Mr. NDBC Rufus doubles up as an associate pastor running multiple businesses. And I just said that to let you know that if you are here, there is no excuse as per you unleashing your full potentials. Sometimes you don't need to choose between this and this. What you need to do is to grow your capacity and do all of them. That's what one of the things I really learned from Mr. NDBC Rufus. He's also a family man. He's also a family. One of the questions I would have loved to ask was how he manages stress. But I think we'll just leave that because of our time. How he manages family life, manages business, and all of that. I'm close to him, so I see what he does. There's balance in everything. So I'm saying that to mean that everybody here, go out. You have been pumped up. You have been inspired. Go out there and take up that idea that you have and begin to do something about it. Mr. Andy Bisru, for those of us that are close with him, will always tell us that capital should not be an issue. Once you have an idea, there's always a way around it to make sure that you get it done. So what I would do, I would just allow Mr. Andy Bisru to give us like a closing remark so that I can allow everybody go prepare for work tomorrow. A closing remark from Mr. Andy Bisru first.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone present here this evening. I have also learned from you, from your questions. Even the ones I don't answer well, please next time ask me again. I will answer you well next time. And I think Harry will drop my email address to you so that in case you want to write me a personal email, for those of you who are talking about investment and all that, those things are what you can discuss personally, not over here. And because we have so many things to do with that. And for everyone here, I want to tell you that please always think. Today I was asking them in church who has a business plan. And I found out that only one person has a business plan. One small girl that has a business plan. And I told her we're going to make available for her funds to execute her plan. Please always have a business plan. People want to relate with people who have plan. I like to hear people's wonderful plan. Make sure you have a business plan. Don't allow the economy to shrink you and your idea. No, this economy cannot. Let the economy allow you to think wider, to think about how do I get more money. Don't think about bringing down the fuel. No, thinking about how do I make more money to enable me buy the fuel even when it is 1,000 naira. That will make you stretch yourself to work harder. As for everyone here tonight, I can assure you that no one here will remain small, and we'll all make it in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank
Amen,
you. God
amen.
bless you.
So please type amen, type amen, type amen, type amen. Thank you so much, Mr. Individual. It was an amazing session. Thank you so much. God bless you, sir. I'm seeing so
Thank
many
you.
amens here. All right, so sir, we allow you go. Thank you. God bless you. Please greet your wife, greet the children. We are super excited to have you tonight. Thank you so much, guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make his email available on the platform in case you want to reach out to him for investment and all of that. I'll make his email available and his social media handles. I'll get that and then I'll drop on the platform. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to our family meeting. Next week I'll let you in on what we are going to be doing next week. For those of us that are still considering joining the speed reading certificate program, Coaching DBC talked a lot tonight about personal growth and development. I don't know what you are waiting for. On Monday, we are going to start. I have two programs that I'm running concurrently this month. That is the month of August. The first one is the speed reading program. I do that in a group coaching session. I have the online video calls, and then of course I have the one-on-one session. Do not allow anything to stop you from growing. Everything you are looking for is also looking for you, but not this version of you. And of course, in this month of August, for the very first time, I launched a course I called Positioning, Profiting, Positioning and Profiting. And what I want to do with that course is to help you to discover your own profitable niche and put it into digital products like books, like courses, exactly what I'm doing today. I want to also help you to be able to do that for yourself, and you can earn from the comfort of your home. You can earn without even stopping what you are doing currently. Um, so that is on right now. I was supposed to take in 20 people, but we are 21, and the most I can take is 25. If you feel like that is something that is interesting to you, please reach out to me because we did our onboarding and orientation session on Friday, on Friday, yes. And on Monday, that is this next week, and on tomorrow, Monday, we are diving right into it. We are going to help you craft a program, craft a course, and I believe, and I'm doing that because I believe you have a message. Yeah, so that will be it for tonight. A very big thank you to everyone that came on live today. I'll see you again next week. Bye for now. Thank you so much, Ola Wills. I'm sorry I could not take your. Okay, you raised your hand. I called you, but you didn't speak up. Thank you so much, Sammy Rufus. Thank you, Domo Godwin Momo. Thank you, Joson. Thank you, Ijoma, and thank you. Uh, Adeze Okeru Josie. I see you. Thank you, Adebayo. Thank you, Adebola Grace. Thank you, Adekunle. Thank you, Akorede, Al Azan, Abdul, Ali Gostam, Aliba Mary, Aloyusi Sowedu, Amarachi, Amede, Amos Temitope, Andrew Ogbeide, Ayan James, Achibonga Det, Bakare, Ben Nazar. Ben Nazar will need Mr. NBBC's email address and his social media handles. Please help me forward that so I can give to these people here. They can also follow him and get more information. Bridget, Soumi, Carol Umeke, Charity. Charity, you're always following. Anywhere I go, you are following me. Chike Gabriel, Chinoso, Choma, I told you, super excited to have you. My number one fashionista. Last week was, sorry, yes, today is Sunday. Last week was your birthday. So happy birthday to you. More years, more wisdom. Damilare, Darlington Daniel, Debbie Josh, Edwin Joby, Edwin, Etobash, Famujuro, Fumi Patrick, Gibbs, Giwa, Henry. I'm tired of calling all the names. Hudson, Irokalize, Jet Brain, Queren Achukwu Abugu, always following everywhere I go. Nancy, Ndidi, uh, Okogbo, Nwaji. Thank you so much. I'm logging out now. I'm logging out. This session was recorded, so what I'm going to do is to going to drop the I'm going to drop the recorded version in case you like to listen and also listen again. We are going to have it on the platform. Some of us came in late, some of us would like to listen again. So I just stopped recording. I'll drop it on the platform for you to have access to it.